Okay. It was
I was
opening
just
up.
goofing her,
It was
just
opening up
goofing
there we
around and
behind
change my background.
everything else.
Okay, so then, okay, then, yeah. So
It's
you
setting it
see
up,
that now? There's a share button.
redirecting.
There's a share,
Now it's there.
No, it's even
and then there's
fine.
an embed code. It says embed. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hey, I can see the stream.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's on the YouTube, but we gotta get to the first page.
That is the link.
Okay. Now where do I go for there? I'm in in Wild Apricot.
Or Wild Africa, go to website.
Yep.
Board meetings under members. Under the members, like little thing on the website
Hold on.
or something like that. Is anybody logged into Wild Africa that can make change? Stuart?
Logging in now.
Just you can either throw that link up there or throw that embed code that they can copy and paste to into the chat. But if you Stuart, you know where the embed code is on that video to share, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Hang on. I have to pretend I'm not a robot and select pictures of buses. Give me a moment.
Are you sure you're not a robot? There is some metal in your arm now.
There is, and it is kind of horrifying, to be honest, when I saw it on an X-ray. All right.
If you guys need any help, let me know. I'm just gonna put myself back on mute.
Okay. All right. I'm guessing the embed code is the same as...
It's under the share link. It's under the picture. There's a share link and it just says embed code or link.
Oh, yeah.
Under the video.
Share. Live. Embed. There it is.
Put it in chat.
I already have it open. Just give me a sec. I'll paste it in and let me save it. Save. Save. All right.
And just
There
as
we
a note to
go.
anybody with that window open now, just either close it or hit mute on the video so you don't hear two conversations. But someone should watch for the comments.
All right. It's open. Close that. Okay. All right. I've got it open as well on my side. Oh, well, apparently it's... Oh, might help if I do that. There we go.
See it now?
Yeah, if you go to the webpage now, you should be able to see it. Everything's set up.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh.
with that being said, welcome everybody.
Everybody's going to get to see all this messaging.
It is April the 28th at 7:07 p.m. I am calling this board meeting to order for Triangle Recreational Campground. I I'm going to start off with a roll call. First of all, obviously myself, Stuart Daniels as president is here, Mike Thompson, the VP of operations, Gary, vice president of development, Charlie, vice president of marketing, Craig, vice president of member relations, Josh, our illustrious treasurer, is also here. Gail, our secretary, is here as well. Simon is also on. Who else we got here before I just start reading off a list? Millie or Mike is on as well. We have AJ as well joining us today. Charlie Hill. I know I said you before, but I just like to repeat your name because Charlie makes all our parties happen. And then also we have Brendan. Thank you for joining. And I think Lawrence as well. Thank you for joining.
And Derek.
And top of that. And Derek, you are right in the middle of my screen. Okay. Apologies for Danny. She was not able to make this meeting during because she is unwell, which is completely fine. So, with that being said, the first thing I would like to do is adopt the agenda. So I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda as circulated. For those in favor, please raise your right hand. 9. Okay, 9. 10. I'm guessing that's a yes from you, Mike. Perfect. All right. I am also raising my hand. It is adopted and unanimous. So let's continue on. Resignations and appointments. There is none currently to report. So we're going to move straight on to the Executive Board of Director report. I get the pleasure of kicking us off today. So once again, my name is Stuart Daniels. I am the president of Triangle Recreational Campground.
Stuart,
and
point of order.
yes, Millie.
We do have an open board position because Drew resigned.
Correct, we do, and there was a decision made at the time that we were not going to fill that position. We were just going to leave it vacant.
I think we have to fill it so that we have an odd number per the state of Washington. We have to have odd numbers so that we couldn't end up with a tie.
What am I sitting at?
And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
By all means, Greg. You just muted yourself.
If I may, to Millie's point of order, it's the point of order is procedural at this point. I think you've made your point that there's a vacancy and it needs to be just noted, and then that's it. But as to the rest of it, it's a debate that can come up later.
Sounds good. Thank you, Millie, for bringing that up. I am happy to discuss. We can bring that up a little bit later and go through the merits of that without a problem. But I'm going to continue on because I don't want to hold everyone up tonight. So I only have a couple of quick announcements and follow-ups. So first of all, I'll kick it off with the legal action against our contractor for the fence that has been going on. That is still ongoing. I don't have any direct updates right now from our lawyer in relation to that, but the process is continuing. So as those updates come available, I will relay them to the board and through the board meeting as well at the end of the month. And then, that was actually my main announcement that I really wanted to make. I had one more, but we're going to have to come back to me on that one, I'm afraid, right now. So I'm going to hand over now to Mike Thompson, our Vice President of Operations. Mike, do you want to give us an update on what's going on with the campground at the moment?
Hello, everybody. How's everybody today? Okay, so down an operations report. I'll just briefly run through it and then take any questions if you guys have any. For potable water, we'll start there. We're currently in phase 2. That's the disinfection and purging stage. I actually just finished purging this afternoon. So we're on track to take samples and get them to the lab over the next couple of days. It's going to have to be Thursday and Friday. So we should have an answer from them by Monday or Tuesday. And then I should be able to, if everything is good, turn the water on. The network and communications, the core campground network is operational right now. Thanks to Ross, he did some work in the network shed to get us back in shape. And this week with the treasurer, I went through and tested runs to see that if we still had connectivity between all the dog houses, to get us a little head start on trying to get the new network set up. And communications committee is meeting at Site 500 this Saturday. That's to discuss and review the equipment and discuss setup and schedule getting everything set up from the new stuff. Main generator is being planned to be moved on the grounds this week. That'll happen Thursday or Friday. And I did talk with Gary. We are planning on starting to lay out the power system so that the consultant can come look at it as well. But we're going to get the core campground set up and start pulling wires out so we have room for the generator to go in the Connex. So that's going to be going on in the background too. Where am I? Marketing committee's Connex, the bar Connex, sorry, is scheduled to be moved tomorrow. He should be up sometime before noon, and it should take about 20-30 minutes, and it'll be in its new home. The big thing that I have to talk about is the hazard tree mitigation that needs to be done. So I did finally get a quote back today from the faller for the amount of 3,000 a day. So we estimate somewhere between 5 and 9 days, depending on how quickly he can get the work done and how technical it is. So a couple of the trees that are damaged are extremely technical. They're going to take a day and a half just for a single tree. So before I am done, we need to talk about how we're going to pay for that. I think there was $6,000 in my budget for trees for season before this happened. And there were some mistakes made in my budget where I can recoup money out where there was extra money added in by accident. So it's not like we would be going way over what we were already looking at spending.
Hey, Mike, you had 17,000 in trees in overwinter that you didn't use also, in addition to the 7 you budgeted. So technically you have 24,000.
Okay. All right. So if that's the case, then I mean, the extra possible expense would be one more day at $3,000 over that budgeted amount. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. So let me finish giving my report and we'll circle back to that to talk if we need to approve that or if we just want to wait to see if we use the day or not. So, and then infrastructure repairs. Right now, Gary's working with me to get some quotes for lumber needed for the solar panel stand, the lower campground fence, and the lower campground sign stand. Gary and I talked about it. We need to get the lower campground fence up first. It's a requirement of our insurance. But as soon as we get that project finished, then we're going to work on the stand and the campground sign. And then the only other thing I had really talked about was, so I've been up here for about a month, and I mean, it's busy opening season. And this year we've been really lucky to have a couple of really good volunteer weekends where people really showed up. But this next 4 weeks coming up to the party weekend, and particularly the next 2 weeks coming to opening, we really need some help. So to get the campground open and get us started on the right track and down the right road, we really need people to show up for volunteering and come and give us a hand. Even if it's only an hour or two, that's a lot more work than we would get done if nobody came and volunteered at all. So, and that's pretty much the end of my report.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Mike? Nope. All right. Just quickly before I move on to Charlie, Mark Nunley appropriately brought up that I said recreational instead of recreation for the team. My apologies. I was reading at the same time as trying to speak, and apparently I could only do one thing at a time. So that's where we're at. Now, I would also like to bring up, for Millie, just so you're aware, we'll bring up the board member position, new business, right at the end. All
Just
right.
FYI, I checked the RCW on that. There's no requirement that there be an odd number legally. The only requirement is that there be at least 3 for a public corporation. So we're well within the bylaws. We do not need to fill the position, but it's not a bad idea to have an odd number.
I would like to have the conversation anyway, just so, we can agree as a board on where we want to go from that. Okay, with that being said, Charlie, you want to kick us off with a marketing report of some description of what's going on?
Sure, I can, but I think Gary would be first, wouldn't he?
Oh, but I really wanted to hear from you, Charlie.
Okay, well then I'll go. All right, so the marketing team has been getting together monthly since January, planning for the upcoming camping season. So a little fun fact as we look ahead to the upcoming season, 2026 is another milestone season for TRC. We purchased our current property in January of 1996. This will make 30 years at our Bender Creek location. For the first 10 years at this location, we referred to ourselves as Bender Creek in an effort to differentiate ourselves from Index. We took back the TRC name as our official identity about 20 years ago. So just a little fun fact there. So ticket sales for events so far. So far, we've sold 31 season passes at $220 each, plus 70 individual party passes for a grand total of $9,050 thus far. Keep in mind, the season passes for regular and seasonal members, including every member of this board of directors, is only available until May 17th. So if you want to take advantage of the discounted price, it is the best deal on tickets there is. You have until May 17th. So BarConX, as Mike mentioned this week, the BarConX will be moved. It's going to be positioned alongside the other marketing Connex. This will open up more space in the party site. It will also make it so that the music is not directed directly into the bar. The bar is also going up on blocks to limit contact with the ground. Once the once the Connex is moved, we have new stainless steel tables and shelving units going into the bar. This will allow for much better sanitation and service in the bar. Once the bar is set up with the new equipment, we will begin stocking for our first event. All right, party site erection. This coming Saturday at noon, we will be raising the party site. We are doing this a week early this year due to the Memorial Day holiday weekend being a week early this year. We will need 14 to 20 volunteers in order to complete this. So more hands make lighter work. So the more the merrier. All right, so next up, online equipment auction. So we just participated in an online auction for professional sound and lighting equipment. We ended up winning several items in the auction. They include 2 RoboWash moving headlights, 12 par lights plus 2 boxes of assorted par lights, 1 box of fairy waterfall lights, 2 DMX strobe lights, 2 snow machines, 1 Pro Hazer, and 2 3-watt laser units. And then also 12 stanchions with chain. So looking at the value of this gear at used market prices, it would come in at around $7,500. We paid, after tax and auction fees, we paid $2,457. So we got a smoking deal. We were planning to rent several of these items this season, so this will save us some cash and rental as well. So believe it or not, our first party of the season is only 3.5 weeks away. Marketing has a ton of work to do before that, and we will need lots of help. As we figure out our exact needs for work parties, we will post with the volunteer committee and on the Facebook group. So keep your eyes posted for that. We will be installing 2 LED trees on the dance floor in front of the DJ booth prior to the Neon Jungle Party. These trees are being fabricated by marketing team member Matt Riggs. The plan is for these to remain in place for all TRC parties in the future. Once the party site tents are up, we will begin to hang site sound and lights and get the trees in place for Memorial Day. Speaking of Memorial Day, here's the lineup. Friday meet and greet at Southern Exposure. The theme is union suits and animal onesies, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Saturday begins with Muumuus, Mimosas, and Marys at Cascadia, beginning at 11 a.m., followed immediately by brunch at Site 500, hosted by our wonderful quartermaster, Steve Deering. Saturday night's main party is Neon Jungle at the party site, featuring music by DJ Pup Loki. Saturday after hours, TBD. Hopefully at Traders. Hopefully we'll be ready for it. Sunday starts with leftover brunch at Site 500 and ends with a tea dance at the party site, again featuring DJ Pup Loki, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.-ish. Black Forest plans are well underway. The event will feature DJ Rekka with a dark alley theme. More about this event in the coming months. Rest assured, plans are well underway also for White Towel and Jurassic Park. 2026 season merchandise has been received and is ready for sale. Note that nice, cool little TRC logo there on a nice blue hoodie. The merch looks really good. This year we did a hoodie and a t-shirt. Both will be available at the Host Hut. We also have some 50th anniversary merch left that will be offered for sale as well. This year's merch features a cool throwback logo on the chest and the large TRC logo on the back. I think these will be super popular. I highly recommend getting yours early, as there is no plan to do a reorder this year. Quantities are limited. Hoodies will be 50 and tees will be 25. I do want to bring to everybody's attention that we have 2 major non-TRC event weekends in June, which is a little unusual. We have Camp Furwood, June 5th through 7th, which is expected to bring in 300 plus campers. So we need to be prepared early to be very busy. And then the following weekend on June 13th, we have the Pink Party hosted by Winston and the Gazebo team. And as we all know, that fills up camp pretty nicely. That's what I have for right now. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right.
Thank you, Charlie. I think we're good. And yeah, if anyone knows of anyone who's interested in volunteering and helping out to get the party site, please reach out to them. And I encourage you, if you're at camp, to also do the same. Simon? I'm going to take that as Simon's interested.
I was just gonna say I'll be there.
Excellent.
I will be there.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that very much for the update. It is exciting news about the age of the campground as well, and we've hit that milestone. That's pretty cool. Even I was unaware of that one too. So thank you for sharing. With that being said, I am going to go to Gary now. I don't actually have a preference on not letting Gary go at his preferred time. So Gary, if you could let us know what's happening in the world of development, that would be amazing.
Hello, everybody. As a report for the development, we're working on the lower campground and bringing it into compliance with the CUP. The two connexes down there, which are in violation, will be removed first part of next week. I think one's being removed on Monday and the other one on Tuesday. I'll be up there to coordinate with the company that's removing them. Evidently, we prepaid delivery and pickup, so from what I understand, there's no charge for that. So that's nice to know. We're working at reclaiming about 4 tent spaces in Site 11. Mike and I went down there today, and we feel that we can do that and put some good fencing up and be able to recapture, like I said, about 4 tent sites in Site 11. We're also going to create 4 to 5 new tent sites by Site 10. We're working with the county. They've said that as long as we're not doing much ground disturbing, that it's okay. And these areas are old, semi-permanent sites when they're down there, so they're nice and flat and don't require any ground disturbing to do it. We're also going to recapture about 3 to 5 tent spaces by Site 2 and 3. And then we're looking at by more efficient use of the overflow space, trying to get 7 or 8 additional campsites just by being more efficient on how the tents are placed back there. The upper campsite, we're going to put a call out to semi-permanent sites for hosting tent visitors. You know, we'll be working with the member relation people on that. The upper 40, the selective tree logging forest management. We're going to put that off until later this season. The logging trucks would have to be going up and down the road, and we were planning on doing it earlier this season, but then we had all the damage and stuff, and that kind of delayed things. So we're going to put that on to maybe towards the end of the season so it doesn't get in the way of other operations and stuff. Sites, host tent sites. Okay, the upper 40, talked about that. Party site structure, the fundraiser. I've set up a fundraiser, got a QR code, working on a poster. Sorry, I don't have that, but working on a poster that will have displayed on the party site and other promotional materials to start the fundraiser for the party site. That'll probably be a 3 to 4 year process. Excuse me. We're looking at trying to get about $50,000 towards that. So depending on how quick we're able to raise the funds, will determine when we do that. That particular process will require some permitting from the county and stuff. So it will be a process in doing it, but that should help us from having to raise the tent every year. And I think the tent's getting a little old and kind of needs replacing. So hopefully we can get all that done before we have to do anything with the tent. The bridge permits, we're going to complete those this year, the permitting process, and then finish the rest of it next year. We're still looking at options for the bridge and other options for the actual abutments and things like that. Working on trying to get the costs down on that. I'm gonna put off the permitting process a little bit to kind of help with cash flow. The permits to finish it off, I think, is about $23,000. So we could probably put that off till a little later this season to help with the cash flow and stuff. I'm checking with the county to see exactly how long we have before our old permits expire, because we don't want to get into that and have to redo the permit. So I should have some answers back here in the next couple of weeks from the county on that. The electrical consultant, I think was like mentioned that once we get the generator in and the basic structure laid out, we'll have a consultant come in and give us some advice on the best way going forward on redoing that. We are going to buy some Starbucks, some new ones this year, because we have several of them that are just going bad. And the process is probably going to be, a 2 to 3 year process on upgrading the entire system. And we'll see what the consultant has to say. He'll provide us with a written report that we can look over, and then we can determine a budget and a time frame as to when all that will be done. The old trailer, the rental trailers, as everybody knows, they got destroyed. We looked into several options. We've decided it's probably just not worth trying to rebuild them. So I think we're just going to trash the old trailers. For this season, we're going to return that space to RV rental. And then next year, we'll take a look at what we want to do. Trailer rental was popular. There are a lot of people that liked them. They were all rented out for this year. Unfortunately, we are not able to do it. I think next year we should really look at reestablishing those, but there just wasn't enough time to do anything for this year. So like I said, we're going to just return that space to RV rental. Site 500, we have several things that we're looking at that. We do have some individuals, evidently, who used to own a bakery. They have a lot of commercial kitchen equipment. And I have to get in contact with them. I think they're interested in donating that equipment to the campsite. So once I have a discussion with them, I'll give a report back to the board and work with Steve and that committee on what we want to do with all that equipment. That is it for my report for this month. Any questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Gary, very much for that one. And just quickly, Gary, you did bring it up about budget. I'm just going to reiterate again for everyone. Please make sure that you do go through your budgets, see if there is any money that you can save. I know budgets are normally padded out a little bit, but it's important this year that we find places to save money where we can. We've been very fortunate in the past couple of years of getting large donations, which has helped our bottom line quite a lot. But we shouldn't rely on that to continue moving forward. So where you can, please make sure that you're saving money. Make sure that you're getting the 3 quotes that are required when we obviously get services done by professionals external from the campground. Every dollar matters. So, it's as you guys know, it's all members' money that helps us keep the campground going. So, just try and save the cash where you can. Anyway, with that being said, I'm now going to hand over to Craig, our Vice President of Member Relations. Craig, you want to give us an update, please?
You bet. So member relations encompasses basically 3 activities. One is the Rules Committee, second is the Care Committee, and the last is the Sergeant at Arms. On the Rules Committee, we have no new reports have come in. Our new process has not been tested yet. A quick overview is that there is an investigation subcommittee that operates independently from the rest of the committee. And then if there is a report indicating a need for adjudication, there's another subcommittee called the Adjudication Unit. And they receive basically an anonymized report from the investigations committee, and they will without knowing who the individuals are, so there's the idea behind it is you're just looking at what the person has done. You don't know anything about their histories, anything like that. Make a decision on whether there was a rules violation. And if need be, then if there is, then there may be a need to ask to have another report on whether the member has had any history of significance, which would influence any kind of punitive action taken. The committees of both, or one is already, I think, completed their subcommittee objectives and job descriptions and so on. And the other one is working on it. So then we still have one case left over from last year. That one is going to be the notice is probably going to go out to the accused. We understand though. Well, we'll see what happens. That's all I'll say on that one. And so yeah, that's it for the Rules Committee. On the Care Committee, just to give an update, thanks to Millie for submitting a report. Directors, you can check your emails. You'll see a copy of his report in your email. But for the viewing audience, I'll just paraphrase what Millie has provided in the report. The Care Committee is an acronym meaning for Compassion Awards Recognition and Engagement. In the area of engagement, we have been trying to, the idea behind that is that we're trying to keep former members connected to TRC. The most notable one we have been trying to get a hold of is Norm Osei. We obviously know Norm because of his considerable donations, and we named a drive after him. Unfortunately, we have not been able to get a hold of Norm. There has been active efforts by Millie, even by going to Norm's residence, sending letters, phoning him. We knew he doesn't check his email, and checking with friends that who knew Norm. Unfortunately, we can't get hold of the friends who knew Norm, so we're kind of in a bit of a pickle. Message to the audience: if you know where Norm Osei is, please let us know. On the compassion side of things, we have one member whose father recently passed away, and it's a seasonal member, not whose father has passed away. We've reached out and let him know that our sympathies to him regarding these tough times. Regarding the passing of two of our members, Chris Jones and Dean Olson, I think we mentioned in prior reports what our efforts have been, and we've got connections of people who are members of CAMP who are connected to those who have passed, and we do our level best to see what we can do. As I understand it, there is likely to be on Memorial Day weekend something held at Sanctuary recognizing the passing of these two individuals. Just moving ahead, Millie is the chair of the Care Committee, and he has created two subcommittees, basically because they work hand in hand. One is the awards and recognition elements to it. It makes some sense. So the awards people will be working with the Mike Thompson's volunteer committee to track volunteer hours and to come up with ways we can recognize people through awards throughout the season. And on the recognition side of things, what we'll be doing is working with the treasurer for those folks who make significant donations to us, and we want to recognize that. That's a really important part of what we do at TRC. Again, the other subcommittee he's creating is the compassion and engagement. And again, that's it's consistent with the idea of helping members through tough times, is the compassion side of things, and engagement, of course, as I said before, like the Norm Osei efforts to keep people engaged. I want to thank Millie for his extremely diligent efforts during the off season and taking time out to go out and try to track people down and to get engaged with those people who he had to get engaged with. So as the French would say, chapeau to Millie. And finally, on the Sergeant at Arms, I'm happy to report that and I hope I don't upstage you here, Stuart. The executive members met last Saturday to have a working group discussion around the subject area of, in the future, what would the distribution of committees look like if we had our druthers. Right now, some of them are confined to certain areas by way of the bylaws and current policies. And so this goes to Mike's point earlier about the good-spirited attempt to have the member relations, the House, the seasonal site committee, the volunteer committee, and the host site committee. But unfortunately, our bylaws and policies say they belong in Vice President of Operations, which is great. We fixed that obviously last meeting, but now we're getting into the proper process of, if we're going to reassign things, we don't do it at the drop of a hat. We go through a process. Some of it's going to involve amending bylaws. That's it from the Sergeant at Arms and, of course, the VP of Member Relations. I'm open to any questions that don't embarrass me.
All right. I think we're good there, Craig. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Josh,
You guys have
what
my
have we got
numbers?
going on with our monies?
We have a little bit left, not much, because we keep spending it, which is to be said at the beginning of the season. We spend it before we get it. We have to spend it before we can make it. So most of the big bills are paid. There's not many big things left, I don't think. If you know of something, please let me know. But other than that, we are sitting good. Thanks everyone for renewing on time. If you have not renewed on time, you have until May 1st before I start chasing you with a ruler and a stick. Before you, Mike said, we're going to start laying out that power line. If your site has not paid that power bill, please do not plug into that Starbucks until you've paid that power, because I will also be walking around with wire cutters, cutting your end of your cord off. Because we need some money coming in so we can spend some money to make it a place where people want to come. But if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can send me a direct message on Facebook or email or shoot me a text. I'm going to be at the camp a lot this coming week, just to get Cascadia ready and everything else ready. But I, with the help of Mike, have turned on the internet to my site so I can get messages down there. So.
Excellent. Anyone have any questions for Josh?
More just a point, Josh, just to let you, given Gary's announcement tonight that we're not going to be running the RVs, that line item 3006 for reservation fees, where you're anticipating $1,500 in revenue.
Yeah, that'll go back to zero.
That's going to go back to zero.
And then I'm also issuing, just so the membership knows and the board knows, anyone an active membership, I'll be reaching out to them tomorrow saying your reservation has officially been canceled and process refunds for those, as well as putting RVs 22 and 23 back online for rental. We do have a wait list, so I will go through the wait lists and give them opportunities to on party weekends in order of waitlist people. But yes, that'll all be taking place tomorrow morning, just so everyone knows.
Excellent. Thank you, Josh. And I'm sure the people on the wait list will definitely appreciate that. All right. Next up, we have Gail, our secretary. What have you got for us, Gail?
I will pass at this time.
Okay. No worries. In that case, Millie, do you have anything for us today?
Well, in the last meeting when we were talking about the volunteer hours, we said we're going to review that with the lawyer.
That hasn't been done yet because we were doing a review of the bylaws as well at the same time, which I'll speak to in new business at the end. There will be a cost associated with checking for that with our lawyer, of course. But we can definitely get that out. But I think I don't want to run that unless the board agrees that they would like to move forwards with enforcing that. Anything else, Millie? I'll take that as a no. AJ, do you have anything for us today?
No, sir. Thank you very much for asking.
Not a problem. Thank you. Danny's not here, unfortunately. Well, Derek, I think it's your turn. What have you got for us today, buddy?
I have a lot of nothing.
No worries. Moving right along, Brandon.
We're good on firewood for the beginning. We'll also be using Seattle Firewood Company as needed during the season. We've talked about a long-term plan to use our own wood, which we are getting more and more of as time goes by, and cycling through drying that out and using that to replenish our supplies so we don't have to rely on outside sources so much, which will save us money. I am just after this meeting or perhaps tomorrow going to order the piss packs and fire blankets for this season, and we'll bring them up once they have arrived, which should be well before Memorial Day, hopefully. I'm also going to be, I didn't check the propane and diesel when I was there this weekend, but I'll check this weekend and see if we need to hop up on both of those before we get going. Otherwise, nothing else.
No
We're
problem.
gonna
Spray,
need-
you had a question?
Brandon, we're
I
gonna
just-
need diesel. Just so you know.
Okay, I'll schedule a diesel pump.
Just to compliment Brandon's discussion around firewood, I guess we should acknowledge the tremendous effort that Mike Drake made over this past weekend, where he has effectively restacked all of the firewood in a style that apparently I never knew you needed a style on this, in a proper way in which it goes through the proper curing process and will make it readily available or at its earliest opportunity. And so Mike Drake, Mike, I'm sure you know this, he deserves a good shout out for that. And I think he's also offering, if I can, one more thing, he's also offering, because he offered it to me, to teach people how to properly stack firewood for the purposes of curing, which I understand, is a wonderful way to spend your afternoon. So
Not gonna lie, I've seen the stacks of firewood. They are damn impressive too. There is a lot. There is so much physical work that's gone into that. So it is just, I can't even imagine how sore I would be after trying to do that, to be honest.
He is a man machine.
He is indeed. All right. Thank you, Brandon, for the update. So as for old business, we currently have none. New business, however, two items. The first one, which I'm going to bring up right away, even though Millie has decided to step out of the meeting, is I would like to take the board's temperature on whether we should fill the board position. Currently, there's no legal requirements, as has been discussed, for us to fill this position. Charlie,
Yeah, in the past, when we've had an opening come up this early in the season, we've gone back to the vote from the prior season, looked at the number one vote getter that did not get elected to the board and offering the position to them.
Okay.
I would love to see us go ahead and fill it via that fashion.
I am definitely open to that myself as well. I think that's a great idea. The membership did, of course, go to the effort on voting on who they want on the board. So I would like to take that as gospel for who we should fill the position with. Gail.
If we do not have the proper number, and I'm new at this, but if we do not have the proper number of votes, the board would never be able to challenge the executive ruling. Correct? Because the executive team could make a ruling and we wouldn't have enough people on the board that are not executive to overrule, correct?
That's technically not true. It would just take one member one way or the other. It's a very hard to override at this point because of the number of executives.
About having not enough numbers.
We should be back up to 15 though.
If I can offer my thoughts on that, Gail obviously points out an issue that if the numbers were to drop any further, and those numbers did not involve, then Gail's point really does become, quite salient to the discussion. To Charlie's point, he's quite correct. Historically, what we've done is if we've had a resignation early on in the season, which we did look to the next person on the ballot who didn't get on. And obviously in the spirit of democracy, I don't know why we do that, but nonetheless, in the spirit of democracy, we offer it up to the next person. I can say that when we've had resignations later on in the season, the board had a history of thinking or finding what they think is the best candidate and exercising its own discretion, notwithstanding how the members vote. So there's really there's a bit of past practice, to Charlie's point, and I think there's some past practice going in the opposite direction as well. So what I would suggest is that the secretary contact the Ross Tremblay, who is the chair of the nominations committee from last year, and he has the record of the official vote count. And I think at that point, you can then, I think what I would recommend is a committee meeting of the whole to have this discussion and decide whether it's going to go with the idea of the next on the ballot or next on who they think might be a great candidate to be on the board, and have that as a committee of the whole meeting, and then we can make a decision going forward at the next board meeting.
I am pretty comfortable with that, since our next board meeting is not that long away, to be honest with you, or hopefully won't be. It will be, if we go down that path, Craig, I think what we'll do is after this meeting, I'll get an email out to everyone on the board, and we'll get who wants to join in that committee, and we'll get that sorted out, and then we can bring it to the next board meeting and do a vote on it.
Yeah, when I meant committee of the whole, I mean all the committee of the whole by definition. Parliamentary talk. Sorry, I got a little into the jargon a bit there. My apologies. It is all of the board, all of the directors, but not meeting as the board. You're meeting as a committee. Reason being is because you have to give notice and all of those extra efforts, and ultimately, it's a bit of an in-camera working session. So that's the point I was making.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely spin up a Zoom meeting for that. Hopefully it won't take too much time, but yeah, doing it as a committee will allow for a lot more open discussion and a bit of debating as well. All right. The other thing I had to bring up as well, which was once again involves the entire board as working as a committee. So as Craig spoke to earlier, the executives did meet and we went through some of the bylaws to have a quick review on what we could do to bring those up to date and modernize them for the way the campground is currently. That was only the first step. The idea here was to help streamline some ideas, but now I will be sending communications out to the board. I would like to arrange a date where we can all get together as a board and then go through the bylaws, discuss any changes, discuss what the executive committee came up with as well. As you guys know, doing a bylaw change is a big deal and requires a lot of organization. So I'd love to get us all on the same page before we do. Now, one of the things that we did bring up as part of discussions during that executive committee meeting was that with the like I've seen bylaw changes happen for TRC in the past, they do generally get heated, and there's definitely some discussion on exact verbiage on what happens with those bylaws. My recommendation is that we come up with what we would like to see change in those bylaws, and then we pass that off to our lawyer, who will then give us the correct verbiage for this and make sure that we're in compliance with everything that we need to be as well. And then once that has been done, we can then look at either bringing those bylaw changes into AGM or calling a special meeting when that time comes. So please, all of you, keep an eye out for that email. We can arrange a meeting location, whether it's at camp, whether it's virtual, or whether it's outside of camp. I am open to all options, whatever is easier for everyone. But beforehand, please make sure you do go through, read all the bylaws again, get yourself refreshed with them, and get some ideas together. Print it out, scribble on the paper so you can bring it along with you. Everything's open for discussion. And I think it's really important that we do review these fairly regularly, just to make sure that, TRC is keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak, and we're doing the best for the campground that we can, bylaws wise as well. All right. Now, before... yeah, Millie.
So was there a general theme from the exec officers about the bylaws and the direction that we're going? It seems to me we have too much defined in the bylaws that we should move to the camper's guide.
I am super happy that you asked that question. Yes, there is. And once again, nothing is official until we have a full board meeting on this and the board agrees. But there was a general consensus, and feel free, any of the execs, to correct me if I'm misquoting, but there was a general consensus that we want to move some of the power of executive positions out of the bylaws and move them directly back into the hands of the board completely. So the board will be able to make more dynamic changes to TRC and the way things go. When it comes to committees, when it comes to certain responsibilities from the executive committees and who looks after what, that will allow us to be more flexible in managing the campground, and it will also allow for us to pivot a lot easier should something come up where it requires us to take a different direction than we're currently going in for some things. Good.
We need to
Brandon.
Accept the minutes from the last board meeting. We didn't go through that little bit of...
Let's do that right now.
I move that we accept the minutes from the April board meeting.
Second.
Excellent. Those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous. Thank you, everyone. And one other thing that we need to now bring up is I would like to suggest our next board meeting date. So we normally go for the second Tuesday of each month. I would like to keep that going. That would be the 5th of May. I would like to know if anyone would like to second the 5th of May for our next board meeting.
You said the second
That
Tuesday?
would be the
That must be
12th.
the 12th.
Yeah, that exactly.
Oh God, it is too. Jesus
And the
Christ.
12th is Cinco de Mayo. I don't
Okay.
know if anyone cares
That
about
might
that too
make
much.
it a fun- that
The
make it a fun
12th is
meeting.
not Cinco de Mayo. The 5th is Cinco de Mayo.
De Mayo.
Oh,
Dang, that would have made it a fun meeting.
oh yeah,
Is-
yeah. Sorry, the calendar set
And
up
is
so that
that
it's, yeah, whatever.
is that far enough out for the rules for notification?
Yeah, 10 days.
I'm gonna send it out
Yes, it's
tonight.
plenty of time.
Yeah. And Brandon, we'll sign you up for Spanish lessons on Duolingo, okay?
All right. Well,
Wait a minute. So when is it again? The 12th?
the 12th. So hang on. With that being said, can I have a second?
So, or second.
Second.
Okay, excellent. Second by Millie. Those in favor of having the board meeting on the 14th?
12th of May.
It's unanimous. Motion passes. Excellent. Thank you, everyone, on that one.
Move
All
to
right.
adjourn.
Exactly. I second. That's it, I think. I don't think we really need to vote on that one. We're at the end of the meeting. Just a quick reminder, if anyone has any questions or would like to discuss anything, please feel free to reach out at any time. Normally the best way will be through email. But with that being said, everyone have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate it. This meeting for TRC Recreational Camp is now adjourned at 8:04 p.m. Thank you all for your time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you all soon.
See you soon.
Good night, all.
Yeah.